everything.
Yeah, yeah,
That was on
yeah,
GameCube or I guess other platforms, but
yeah, yeah. Is that Silver as well? Do you know about Silver?
is that the one where Sonic turns into a wolf?
No, no, that I
Okay,
never played that
because you're
one.
talking about the
Yeah,
downturn, and that's
I
what I'm
never
thinking
cared for that
about.
one. Okay, so I'll put it. I think there was a Sonic game that came out on Xbox, one of the Xboxes, and I'm trying to remember. Did it come for anything else? Maybe it came for GameCube, maybe at the time, or maybe all the consoles. But I remember there was one that came for Xbox, and um, it was a Sonic a Return, Shadow Return, and then there was a character named Silver, and he's a white hedgehog,
I've
and he
seen
has
pictures.
telekinetic powers. He can fly, levitate, move things,
Yeah.
and so the game really revolved around these characters. And that was the first time when there was emphasis on like they can all race and all that, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's been so many other spin-off games, and for me, it's odd because for a lot of games, I don't often care for spin-off games when it comes to certain characters like Sonic. The main games, the ones that's considered canon, if you want to say that, I don't,
Well,
those are the ones that has always, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
what is canon? Like I said, there's the difference between the 2D side scrollers that are about speed and clearing the stage, um,
Yeah,
versus the
yeah.
other ones that are more adventure. There's a lot more things to do and even treasure
Yeah,
hunting for
yeah.
the emeralds. You know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't. I guess there's some games that you can tell like there's been a lot more thought out with the story and the dialogue and the exchange and some type of development of Sonic, and so those games have always stood out to me. Like even now,
Yeah.
if I'm watching a game and it says, "Oh, this is Knuckles' game," and I don't know, it's like, yeah, I like Knuckles. He's a cool character, and I still remember when he first showed up in Sonic 3. Like I love how you can pretty much see that Eggman tricked Knuckles to give the impression that Sonic's the bad guy.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea. So Knuckles is like this, this echidna, and he
That's
has the
yeah.
role of protecting, yeah, protecting, but he's under the impression Sonic's the bad guy. And so it's really interesting to see how throughout the game he makes things inconvenient for you because he knows the island and Sonic's the one visiting the island, and Knuckles already knows the ins and out of this. So he shows up, makes things inconvenient, and but it's not until later on he sees that Eggman is actually the villain.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, yeah, and it was something I really appreciated about that.
That's in the game.
That was in the game, yeah,
Okay.
and there's no like dialogue. It was just little things moving around, and
That's
I don't know.
interesting.
I think yeah, yeah, it's really well done. They made sure that you could obviously see what was happening, but
It seems
yeah,
like
it's
that's what
really.
they're going for this movie, right?
I believe so. I believe
Yeah.
so. I didn't think they was going to introduce Knuckles so soon. I actually thought they would wait for the third one, but I guess it makes sense.
I don't know if Shadow's going to show up in this one, but the third one has to be Shadow, right?
Well, I'm already hearing that there's a setup for
Has to
another
be.
kid put another movie. Yeah, yeah. So
He's the
yeah,
edge
it would
lord
have
I
to have,
need.
he would be the next main big character. I'm gonna say because
Yeah.
there's a lot of these little characters like Amy Rose and all these other little cute characters, but yeah, that would be the next big character. It would be Shadow the Hedgehog.
He's the ultimate life form, James. See, like people talk about debates and fights between superheroes. None of that matters when Shadow the Hedgehog is there. You know what I'm saying? It's canon. He is the ultimate life form. It's said multiple times in the Sonic canon, and there's just no
Okay.
dispute. People are just being silly when they're comparing things to Shadow.
One of my favorite scenes in any Sonic game is in Sonic Adventure 2, and I don't know if you would remember this.
James, I
Um,
remember everything about that game.
okay,
That,
okay. So obviously, there's some type of I don't know device at the end of this long road in space somewhere,
yep.
and you probably already know what I'm talking about. And Sonic shows up, and he's ready to, run down the course so he can go and I don't know dismantle this thing or stop it or whatever. But obviously, Shadow, learns that Sonic is, and he's already encountered Sonic a few times. He's already used the Chaos Emerald's power and stuff
Chaos
like that.
control. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There. Yeah.
right, right. But I remember, Shadow, throughout the game, there were once or twice, he encountered Sonic and they fought and, Chaos Control and all this other stuff. But in this scene, it was almost like Shadow wanted to know, like what's motivating you to do this?
Uh huh.
Like, why are you, and I'm trying to remember the dialogue because it's been a while. I could probably find it on YouTube, but I remember Sonic and Shadow was walking as they're talking because
And
Shadow
yeah, no, it's
before he gets into it because he knows they're about to get into it, but he wants to know why are you doing this? Like,
yeah.
why are you? What's motivating you? And I love like Sonic's dialogue, his exchange with him, and as they're
They just speed
talking,
up, yeah, and
and
they
and, and I just yeah, and I just love that scene. And Sonic just made it clear like this is where I stand, like this is what I do. This is and I just love how man just that whole battle scene just
turns into a boss fight. It's great.
yeah, yeah. But even beyond that, when they both are needed to stop this thing from destroying whatever, and they're both like becoming supersonic and
I was gonna say they
super
turned Super Saiyan with all the Chaos
and I look how they
Emeralds.
changing. I was like, oh,
The way that game finished,
killing you, man.
one of the
Makes me want
best
to turn it on,
climaxes.
right? It makes me want to just pop that thing on right
I
now.
think I'm
Like
gonna play after we finish talking. Legit,
yeah,
like
right.
it's such a good game. I really
Beautiful
want to show it to
experience.
Julie.
Beautiful, beautiful. I just wow, wow.
No, the whole and here let's just explain the whole plot line here for a second. But Sonic is essentially being framed because Shadow was released by Eggman as the ultimate life form. Is like I guess his dad was working on it, right? That was his secret project, and so Sonic is being framed as doing all these bad things, and people are looking for a fast hedgehog, and then he's like, "You're just a fake," and he's like, "Faker, you're not even good enough to be my fake," you know. Um, and he's always like attacking him with the Chaos Emeralds and stuff, and Sonic is like, "That's how he's so fast. He's not fast. He's just using the Chaos Emerald, you know." Um, but yeah, Shadow has his own thing of all his own powers that make him the ultimate life form and super powerful and stuff. But it's awesome how at the end of the game, like in the game, there's two story modes, right? There's the hero side and the dark side, and
Yes,
you play missions
yes.
as different characters in each, and then at the end, it's like the ending where they kind of combine and they fix everything. Um,
Mhm.
no, that game is like so awesome. Eggman like blows up the moon, and he's gonna like
Seriously, man, it's such a beautiful story. I just loved it. I was so surprised, like, man, they actually surpassed Sonic Adventure One because the way it worked for me is, usually when a game is really good, I'm thinking there's no way they're beating this.
yeah,
There's no way
yeah,
and them to actually manage to,
top it.
you know, yeah, yeah. And then I just love how instead of just running, Shadow has like these rocket skates or whatever it is,
Yeah, he's
He just
rollerblading down, and
yeah,
Sonic is just running like,
after a while he's running, but then he starts sliding,
yep,
and I'm like,
yep.
oh man, that's awesome, man. Man, that was really good.
The music
That
is
was
so good in that one. Crush 40 killed it with the soundtrack. There, Live and Learn is still on my workout playlist.
really
Yeah, yeah. The song at the end too. I forget if it's the same or if it's a different one, but that's on my playlist too. And then the game from the game that came after was Shadow the Hedgehog, where the promo art is Shadow holding a Glock.
I remember that. I remember that.
Um, yeah, so there's a song from that intro that I have on there too. It's awesome. I love that stuff. And there's like
Yeah,
so many memes that go on about like with that song and then Sonic. It's like tied to him, and I love it.
that's funny. Yeah, one of the phrases I used to love hearing Shadow say is, playtime is
Oh
over.
my, yeah, yeah, yeah. Disappear, and you spend the
Yeah,
rings
yeah.
to do the
Oh, I used
attack.
to love.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love his character. I love his background. I love his look, and I just thought it was so cool that
I
they really
loved
like expanded the world, with him.
it. Had a two-player mode, and me and Matt would always go at it. Right, the
Really?
grind of racing down the rails in the pyramid. You know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you had your intros and let me show you my real power.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I could talk about that game forever, man.
Right, right. That's one thing I really love is I love when I don't know why, but I love when these video game characters are a little arrogant.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're like I'm holding back.
Hmm.
I'm holding back. One game I think is really good at that. I don't know if you're as familiar with it. I'm trying to remember how we played it. Soul Calibur.
We
You know.
okay. We might have played it a little bit, but I did play Soul Calibur
Okay.
2 on the
Okay.
PS1.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Or
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Soul Edge came for um, Soul Edge, I believe, came for the first the PlayStation One, and then beyond that, it became Soul Calibur because I think there was some type of copyright issue with the first name, and but yeah, it was like every character, like once they would win, they always said something like super arrogant and prideful, like like did you see my real power, or
yeah,
did you feel that? That's real true power. And
yeah.
or like I really was holding back, or something. It's like okay,
Uh huh.
but it's like everybody's like that. Everybody on that game is convinced they're the best. So it's just it's hilarious, man. It's hilarious.
No, for sure. I love when characters take up that mantle, and it's just kind of part of that character, right? You see that all the time in like Marvel's Capcom 3, the different endings, right? The ending cards,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the intros too. Those are always good. With a bunch of different fighting games, they do that. It's awesome.
Hmm.
Um, no, but
I love it.
that Sonic game was so much of my childhood, man. They had
Yeah.
so much to do too. It wasn't even just the story. It was like they had little like Chow gardens and stuff, and
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember if that was in part two. Also, was it?
it was yeah.
Because I know part one for sure. Okay, because part one it went like it became like a game in its own.
It
You know?
was. It was like one of those
Yeah.
games that you could just play all the time and a bunch of stuff to do.
Oh my gosh. You know what was funny is I don't know if you would know this, but when the first one came out, Sonic Adventure One, the Dreamcast had a very unique controller. It actually had some type of I don't know, but like a memory card that actually had a screen.
Really?
So yeah, so you would be playing the game and you could actually, I'm gonna have to show you eventually, or maybe show you online eventually, but you can actually put it, this memory card with a screen in your controller, and you can actually see the screen. So what you can essentially do is, and I know for a fact you can do this in Sonic Adventure One for Dreamcast. I'm not sure about the other ones, but if you wanted to take your Chow with you, you would basically download it into
Oh
your,
man.
little memory card, and yeah, and you can actually make sure you feed it on time and entertain it while you're on the go in this little
Like a
memory
little
card, and it had
Tamagotchi?
its own little, like controller and two buttons, and it was hilarious, super
Yeah.
hilarious, Yeah, but it was such a good idea. It was such a good idea,
Yeah, no, that's great. And then Pokemon did that a little bit after too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Pokemon dominated with that concept.
Yeah.
They dominated.
Do you remember the little like toy little video games that would Sonic video games that would come in like McDonald's Happy Meals?
I do remember that. I
Like
do.
Knuckles was playing soccer or something. Like those were
I think so vaguely, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, those were awesome too.
I did.
There's so
Yeah.
much like nostalgia I have for Sonic and everything from those
Yeah.
games, and like I said, there is a disconnect because I haven't played those older ones, and I've been thinking of like maybe going back um, to try it out and see how it goes. And I think the newer Sonic games have kind of returned to some of that like 2D
Yeah.
fast-paced side scrolling, but my love will always be for the 3D adventure. Like that, there's so much to do there. There was so many different avenues to go about it, and then it wasn't just a speed course, but it was like, well, first, like you said, the soundtracks were great also, but there was hunting for the Chaos Emeralds. That was always
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
The and then the battles, right? You could get in like a
Yeah.
mech with Eggman or Tails, and then the Chows, and I forget who else, but like you could fight each other like that with different abilities and powers. So much of that game was awesome, and but some of my favorite stuff, like I said, is the music, not just the soundtrack, because there is some like I don't know if you ever drowned in that game, but if you want to have a heart attack, look up Sonic drowning music.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that. I remember that because there are a lot of times I was panicking as a child, and I'm like, you know,
Yeah,
oh no.
there is no
Yeah,
reason
really.
for you to put that much stress on like a 6-year-old.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
One of my
It was
favorites, though,
bad.
besides the main intro that I still have on my workout playlist, is the Pumpkin Hill rap. I don't know if you remember that one, where the Knuckles is going to Pumpkin Hill, that whole stage where he's looking for the different Chaos Emeralds, and there's like a rap song that's playing about it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you the link, James. It's quality.
I want to hear these songs because it's been a while.
I think it's worth
Oh,
the
that's
playthrough, James. I think, yeah, maybe return to some roots.